The new Macau Association says they are moving away from its founding members. The group's leadership says they want to reinvent its identity as a political organization as they want to leave behind the image of a fan club of lawmaker Ng Kok Chang and Lau Kam San.
The new Macau Association is planning on undergoing some audacious reforms in the year of the goat. The group's current leadership is keen on pushing forward several structural changes to revamp its identity as a political organization. Board member Jason Xiao wants to leave behind the group's image of a fan club for founding members, lawmakers Ng Kok Chang and Lau Kam San. He refuses the idea of a permanent split between the association's senior and younger ranks, but acknowledges a divergence regarding several fundamental issues.
It has been widening, I have to admit. Yes, we know that we have generation gaps. If we stick with the so-called ideas of the so-called founding members, the association will eventually die out as the two legislators fade away in the political sphere. And that's why we want new ideas to be incorporated into the new Macau Association. It is the only way that can make one organization sustainable. We are moving from a fans club of the legislators to a political organization. So we are moving towards institutionalization.
He expects members to be actively engaged in the group's activities, chipping in with both new ideas and more financial contributions. This entails higher membership fees, a matter which has stirred controversy between the former and current leadership. In addition, he hopes to end the association's funding dependence on Ng Kok Chang and Lau Kam San's donation by seeking funding from the public and private backing.
When we fight for justice externally in the society, we should also fight for justice internally. It should be led or decided on by those who have actively engaged in the activities of the new Macau Association. So certain reforms are taking place. In the past, the association has been over-reliant on the donations from the legislators. The legislators are obligated to donate 1/5 of their salaries to the association according to the charter of the association. But we have been just too reliant on their incomes. Accidents may happen. We cannot be too reliant on them if you want the association to sustain itself in the future.
Through these changes, Jason Xiao says that the new Macau Association is aiming at presenting itself as a young and proactive platform for civic and political activism.
And legislator Ng Kok Chang says the debate and struggle between the two camps is positive for the development of the new Macau Association. He adds that the split between the new and old generation is just temporary.
The struggle between the new and old generation became apparent after the Legislative Assembly election in 2013. Legislator from New Macau Ng Kok Chang says the defeat of Chen Wei-chi played a role in it, because that meant a decrease of resources within the camp. But he says the argument is only a way of diversification, and is helpful for the pro-democrat camp to grow.
Problem between the new and old generation is just temporary and apparent. Frankly speaking, things will all change in 10 years' time. People who don't want to pass the baton will need to pass it in 10 years. Everybody wants to achieve something, thus they will jump the gun and strive for exposure. This is a positive attitude. If everyone is inactive, how can there be arguments?
He agrees that the formation of the new Macau should be changed because education is more common and more people are capable of engaging in political debate. The association's leadership also hopes to systemize the membership of New Macau. They want to handle the issue that some members of New Macau haven't participated in the group and haven't paid membership fee for a long time, while they will still come out to vote for the leadership. But Ng Kok Chang says this so-called zombie ballot is only a way of competition.
If you split into different camps and calculate how many votes our camp has got, this is only a way of competition. People dislike this competition measure, maybe because they are not counted in as the same camp, and they will group with their own camp. This is still a way of competition. Zombie ballot is an expression of lacking PR skill, which makes the zombie ballot people even angrier and may backfire. It's not necessary to say it.
And in regards to the lawsuit that the developer Ho Chin Kei filed against New Macau for libel, Ng Kwok Chun says it's unlikely that the New Macau will be found guilty. However, he reiterates that the legislator's office won't pay the compensation for New Macau if the association loses the case in court, since the finance of the two entities should be independent according to the law.